forgive me if that's going on. The highest it can go. I don't know how to put it. You can see right here. Scream heat, find your journey, carry water. um. So yeah. I didn't mean for yesterday's video to end so early. I think my phone ran out of space, but I accidentally tapped away the message that popped up before I could actually read it. So I don't know what happened. I'm gonna assume that I ran out of storage. And I couldn't finish it, so I initially uploaded the video as part 1, but then I got rid of the part 1 in the title. So yeah. But before we get into Twitter, beginning give up review, Ape Escape. I played this assuming that it was a remaster. Turns out it isn't. I thought, oh, okay, I'm just gonna play the trophies in. But then I realised that I've actually never played Ape Escape. It turns out I played Ape Escape 2. It's fine, I guess, but I really can't be bothered playing it. So anyway, this Twitter as of 29 past 8 PM on Monday the 18th of July 2022. It's hot. Yeah, Amelia's about to suffer 2 aneurysms from acting so much. It was a scam. Right, so this Jewish person is saying that the Labour Party had no anti-Semitism when Jeremy Corbyn was leader, when that just isn't true, because basically when it comes to Labour under Jeremy Corbyn, the priority, step 1, part 1 manifesto, whatever, screw Israel. But yeah, you're correct. The Labour Party can't be anti-Semitic when they redefine what anti-Semitic is. But I forgot to finish what I was going to say about Emilia Clarke. I know you're going to be in Secret Wars and just, I think you should be prioritising your health over everything else. Oh god, why is Joe Rogan trending? Okay. Well, I mean, Justin Trudeau is a dictator. Joe Rogan isn't lying when he says that Canada is communist. Because Trudeau, oh no, there are people hulking, we need to have them thrown in prison. In Texas, let's see why you believe that. That's a bit hypocritical. You think that Texas is a dictatorship. Number 1, it's a crime to sell a fun time object. Oh no! Oh no! You can't spice up your fun time. Number 2, it's a crime to seek an abortion. I've already said it multiple times. I'm not saying it again. Number 3, it's a crime to smoke a joint. Okay, right. I don't understand that when Joe Rogan smokes joints like all the time. Like on air, on video. But I don't know how that works. Anyway. 4. Worse population is in prison than any other democracy on earth. Well, it depends on the crime and if they did it or not. Like, if Texas is full of murderers, okay, like, people are gonna say, well, yeah, it is full of murderers, all the guns, but, like, just, it depends on if they're actually criminals, or if the crimes that they did should be considered crimes. Like, if they used their First Amendment right to free speech, then yeah, they shouldn't be arrested for that. But if it's something like assault, then that's fine. They deserve, well, I don't think go to prison for assault. I don't know. You get the point. Oh, and about Joe Rogan calling Trump, what was that, man, baby? Oh no, lefties, you're going to make a choice. You have to either say, I don't like Joe Rogan, but he's correct. Or, I don't like Donald Trump, but I hate Joe Rogan more, so now I support Donald Trump. And I hate Joe Rogan because he was spreading misinformation about the, I'm just going to say it, coronavirus. Why is Satan spreading the UK? Who in the UK is Satan? I don't even know how to pronounce that name. That sounds Polish to me. Okay, so it's not really trending, is it? Sweating, that's gonna be because of the heat. Because I'm gonna put this down a bit. Oh, it's okay. 8. Tomorrow's gonna be so hot that I had a feeling that, like, I saw it for a split second and thought that's inappropriate, but that should be fine. Like, your dog's paws will melt. Holy crap. I like that. And, okay, that's great. My man being recommended to follow Fanboy Blacksmithing because of all the crap that happened yesterday. Something big is coming. Pretty sure that's the profile picture, or an alternate version of the profile picture for women posting their L's. This is like the top account that Twitter recommends that I follow for some reason. Following franchise be like, we're bad. Now do cool stuff and post a war apocalypse. Start streaming. I don't understand. Why did you give me this? Oh, I read that and all or whatever. Webcam and a PC. I thought I was gonna be mining coal after the revolution. Amazing. We're gonna live in a world where people don't have to apologise for jokes. You need to be the one who stops apologising first. Simple as. Now you understand why rule whatever number it is exists. Also, talking on people requiring an apology probably helps too. Oops. Why do you always put me back at the top? Dick. I think I've already... I thought I read this out. R slashing P was Steam Toss, which I thought that shut that down, but whatever. I'm in the wrong career. I just made 2 mil selling not racist, NFTs. I make $15 an hour, 60 hours a week, and I will never be able to afford a house. Couldn't have done it without them. Thinking about the Among Us anti-submarine warfare Seahawk helicopter. Why? Person reportedly facing 50 years in prison over I can't think of a substitute for that word. Family fun time, I guess. Relationship with his nephew. Wait. Does family fun time cause same type of people fun time? And I'm not going to read all that, but I'm going to assume that it seems to be yes. Stone Toss was right again. That should be Stone Toss is right, period. The man never misses. Right, I swear I've read this. I'm a big advocate for mental health. Hell yeah, isn't nature and sunshine great? I think it seems to be that my likes and retweets haven't synced up from my tablet, or from my phone to my tablet, because my phone's only like 20%, so I'm starting right now, so it's not really worth this on my tablet. Anyway, so I think that's where I got to. Calling yourself a libertarian doesn't mean anything when you end up just constantly saying, yeah, I remember thinking, I don't think that's a word yesterday, fascistic crap. He's literally a libertarian. He constantly says that he would like to open, carry, and smoke weed at his gay, black, trans man's best friend's wedding that they paid for with crypto or something like that. You know, that's how libertarian Marcus is. He is on, and I said this yesterday, he is on the verge, if not already being, a proper anarchist. Well, what would make a libertarian then? Teach me. Libertarians don't join fascist parties like UKIP. There is one, I said this yesterday as well, there is one major fascist party in the UK, and that is the British Nationalist Party. UKIP is not the British Nationalist Party, which is also known as the BNP. 2. Marcus left UKIP like 3 years ago. He's not part of the Scottish Libertarian Party. Excuse me, correct. They join libertarian parties, don't they? As long as these parties are actually libertarian and they don't side or enable fascists. I've been in the I can't say this word today for some reason. I've been in the Libertarian Party for 2 years and even ran in the election, given that libertarians is literally the antithesis of fascism. I genuinely laughed at your enables fascism comment. But educate me more. Tell me how to be a libertarian. What else can I do? Being an actual libertarian is antithetical to being a fascist, but that doesn't stop fascists calling themselves libertarian. I've argued with many libertarians who just make the same arguments about how immigrants are destroying their country in the same manner fascists do. Yeah, but the way that our borders are right now, like how open they are, that is only causing harm. Because the UK is a very small island compared to the rest of the world. And if we keep on accepting immigrants, eventually we're going to run out of space. And also, we keep on letting terrorists slip through, and that's not saying that all immigrants are terrorists. It's a very tiny percentage. Like, not .0.00001%. You know, that's how tiny it is, but it's the fact that how open the borders are that these terrorists are able to easily slip through. So closing the borders just a little bit, right? That isn't fascist. Closing them fully, that kind of fascist, but a little bit not fascist. And Marcus wants them closed a little bit. For you, could you stop by saying 40% whenever a trans person is mutilated? Whoops. I dropped my controller. Anyway. Well, whenever someone is mean to a trans person, regardless of the fact that person is being mean for a reason other than that person is trans, how come trans people always say, you're being transphobic? Like if a trans person, I don't know, was caught being racist, it'd be like, you're racist. How dare you be so transphobic? Like, no. Anyway, then maybe your claims of actually not being a fascist can be more believable. It's not hard to say things fascists would be the same way they said. I said this yesterday as well. Hitler breathes oxygen. I am breathing oxygen. By your logic, I am a fascist. But you are also breathing oxygen. So, welcome. I was trying to think of like the fascist equivalent of comrade. But you get the point. By your logic, you are a fascist. Anyway, you want to control what I'm allowed to say? Sounds pretty fascist. By critiquing you and your actions is not me controlling you, and I'm also pretty sure you asked me on how to act less fascistic. I mean, if you want to continue saying fascistic things, you can, but you will be called a fascist. So even though in my videos I preach libertarian talking points, I'm anti-government, anti-state, anti-drug laws, and I'm literally in a libertarian party telling some jokes makes me a fascist, I'm not gonna lie, if the bar is that low, I don't think I'm gonna care. I mean you can preach libertarian views all you want, but if you want to act like a fascist, people are gonna call you one. Also, it depends on the joke. If the joke is just repeating the same thing, fascists say the same way they say it, then yeah, people will call you a fascist. Right, not all transphobic people are fascists. My sweet summer child. They were going to do that anyway. The bar is so low for a reason. You... Fanboy socialism. I want to make a joke, but I don't want to get the video taken down. You are as libertarian as North Korea is democratic. You are not a socialist. This joke would have worked really well because this response. Damn. I am a Libertarian Party member, which means I'm a libertarian. You are a DSA member. You are not a socialist. Excellent rebuttal. Make sure to pick up your L on the way out. Conservative. Literally none of these people know a thing about me. But it's called a conservative. Deleted it. Nah, I'm just too busy drowning in to argue with a conservative man-child like you. I think that I can now tell my joke. because that word that I didn't say, I was going to be like, so you're a fanboy and you're a socialist? Are you going to pass around that equally, comrade? Oh, when he went private, imagine being private on Twitter. Isn't 90% of his fan base 14-year-old far-right trad conservatives who enjoy his content because it's edgy? Why are you saying edgy in air quotes? It is. Like, are you the kind of person that say that, like, Family Guy is an edgy show? It isn't. Like, I feel like, so we've gone on like 3 generations from my grandparents, my parents, and me. My grandparents don't like Family Guy and American Dad, Simpsons, all that because they say it's too edgy. My parents love Family Guy, American Dad, Simpsons, etc. because it's edgy. I hate Family Guy, American Dad, Simpsons, etc. because it isn't edgy at all. If you want edgy content, you have Marcus. But if we're talking about television, Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like, that's the funniest show of all time. Anyway, isn't his audience trad? Pretty sure 95% of your Twitter audience follows you for funny haha reactionary memes you make. What? Plus, me saying trad is me being ironic. I'm not even sure a trad conservative is a thing, considering to be trad you have to be conservative. Yeah, but conservatives nowadays aren't really conservative, you know? It's like, Freedomton's pointed out excellently, it's like the left wing are trying to make our children trans, and we won't stand up for it for another 5 years. And it's like, and because like 5 years later, the left wants to make our babies trans, and we won't stand up for it, and so on. I love how you guys use the word reactionary all the time whenever people... It's like the first time I've heard someone say reactionary when talking about you, or to you, Marcus. Anyway, whenever people don't like what you're trying to do, oh, you don't want me throwing you in jail for your opinions? What are you, some kind of reactionary? I don't think you understand what someone means when they call you reactionary. Excuse me. Plus, the you guys really makes this funnier. Reactionary is when you see extremely controversial things and wow, time to use this to my favour, not when you have an opinion I dislike. You know what it means? Opposing political or social progress or reform. And we mostly do this because the falsely claimed progress and abhorrent reform is usually awful, which is why we find it funny when you call us reactionaries. For example, if you're against Roe v. Wade being overturned, congratulations, you're a reactionary. I don't know why it sounds like I'm crying, I'm not. Anyway, Google. Reactionary, adjective, of a person or a set of views opposing political or social liberalization or reform. Reactionary attitudes towards women's rights. Whatever website this is, probably dictionary.com. Noun, a person who is opposed to political or social change or new ideas. Reactionaries are preventing reforms. Reactionary adjective. This might be dictionary.com, but it looks like The Guardian to me. I don't know why. Anyway. Relating to, marked by, or favouring reaction, especially ultra-conservative in politics. In popular usage, reactionary refers to a strong traditionalist conservative political perspective of the person who is opposed to social, political, and economic change. Reactionary ideologies can be radical in the sense of political extremism in service to the re-establishing past conditions. You may not agree with this, but the definition kind of speaks for itself. Yes, resisting social or political change when that change is crap. I'm fine with being a reactionary against absolutely awful stuff. So, I mean, based off the definitions that Tanny the Duck Boy, Fanboy Toff posted, if you're against Roe v. Wade, you are a reactionary. Usually you don't want to be known as a reactionary because the connotation of the word of the use of the world is used against right-wingers and conservatives who in reaction to change want to overturn and resist. If you genuinely hate something that's crappy, that's totally understandable. Not here to argue, just here to say that if you hate something that is genuinely crappy, like for example, taxes are literally most of what the US does on a daily basis. Because of Biden, the guy you elected. It's best not to be called a reactionary, which again is a term used against die-hard ultra-conservatives. Yeah, but the amount of die-hard ultra-conservatives who follow Marcus is going to be extremely low because he makes fun of them all the time. Like, you have people on the left, sorry, I should say people on the far left, saying that Marcus is a racist, fascist, ultra mega Hitler. And then you have people who are on the far right will say Nick Griffin, because he was the leader of the BNP. Nick probably would think, oh, this Marcus guy sounds like one of us. But then they start to watch Marcus's videos and they realize, wait, this guy isn't far right. He's left wing. Anyway, you're against them, but it applies to literally anyone resisting a form of social or political change. Like I said, you most likely would be against Roe v. Wade. That makes you a reactionary. Historically speaking, a reactionary is groups like pro-monarchy and pro-Catholic forces in the French Revolution, or when groups labelled person or place as reactionary governments. Historically speaking, a reactionary is anyone that wants to go back and conserve ideas. So, using the historical connotation of the term with Roe v. Wade, the Supreme Court and conservative political groups would be reactionaries as they react to the change and want to push it back and conserve the idea of being pro-life. This being said, about my personal opinion. So, since you want to keep Roe v. Wade the way it was, would that make you conservative then? Huh? A conservative wants to remove Roe v. Wade to conserve the idea of being pro-life and anti-abortion, while someone who wants to allow for abortion rights is progressive, because they want to progress the idea that women have bodily anatomy. Yeah, but that's not the way that it works. Like, let's say that the way that the world is right now, a real conservative would want to keep it the way that it is right now. They probably believe that the way the world is right now is perfect. Right? So, the people who wanted Roe v. Wade to not be overturned, they can be considered conservative because they wanted the world to be the same way that it was before Roe v. Wade was overturned. But Marcus is a liberal. I mean, I did see his video on Roe v. Wade, but I know that he's pro-choice, but I think he supported Roe v. Wade being overturned. I don't remember. Because, as he said, the whole point of abortion was to be safe, legal, and rare. Abortion is no longer rare. It's happening all the time. Or at least used to be happening all the time before Roe v. Wade. Like, abortion is supposed to be the last resort. but user having it as the first resort. Anyway, conservatives want to return to the tradition and keep things the way they are. Roe v. Wade is the way things were. And you want the return, you could say you want to conserve things. Usually you don't want to be known as reactionary because it's going to I've already said that. You mean the term got butchered and misused to attack a certain political persuasion? Color me shocked. I don't care about being called a reactionary. None of us do. We are just confused by you use it since it isn't even a bad term. Why not just stick with Nazi? Again, I'm so genuinely confused on what you mean when you say we and you guys you're referring to. Fanboys. Plus reactionaries. I'm sorry. Reactionary is historically known as a term to be used against right-wing or conservative groups. It's also historically used for pretty bad groups or people. So I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. When you get called a Nazi, white supremacist, bigot, transphobe, blah blah blah, every day for 6 years, you tend not to give a crap about reactionary. Also, dude, if you get it, then shut up, please. Historically speaking, I already said that. And historically, gay made happy, and yet, and actually still means the same thing. Gay also meant a homosexual. Whoops, I said the word. I'm sorry, Susan. And except in the 17th century, words adapted times. Term reaction are used against modern neoconservative and ultra-conservatives, usually evangelicals, compared to when it was used for monarchists. I know, I just still don't care no more replying then, right? Shut up and talk to me. Please say that's the end of it then. You know, the end of it for that person. It's obvious you're a straight white man and an edgy comedian, so you're a fascist. Oh, this is irony, of course, right? I learned all my politics from Twitch and Twitter, so I know I'm right. I'm just going to continue what formerly the Quiet Observer, I like that name, said. I cried when Sam Piker got banned off Twitch for saying a word that isn't even a slur. In fact, I'll say it right now. Me being not white. I'm LARPing. This isn't racist. Cracker. Well, saying that word is racist, but I can say it because I'm white. Not sure why he brought a straight white man into this. A person can be one without fitting any of those. And repeating fascist talking points isn't just edgy, it's repeating fascistic talking points, like you could just not repeat them. That's not a fascist talking point, it's a meme. If he was a fascist, he would say something like trans people should be rounded up and put in council, which he is actually against. There are actual fascists out there and using the word loosely is helping actual fascists. Yes, this is a boy cried wolf situation, dumbass. Still find someone. Funny how someone told me to self-delete, and when I said it back, they all went, oh my god, fascism! No, it's literal fascism. So, apparently, this is in one of Marcus's videos. I didn't know this because I watch videos before playing games, so I don't really look at the screen, I just listen. Marcus, what is this? Driving me nuts editing here? Secret message? Giant sausage man? Crush, what is it? How have you not seen Fight Club? Like, even like 8 years before I seen Fight Club, I knew like what this would have been referring to. And yeah, go watch Fight Club. Fantastic movie. So Comedy Unleashed is going on tour, and there's a bunch of people here are going to be doing stand-up there, and the only one that I recognize is Marcus. Okay, so I'm just looking at where these places are, and I don't think any of them are in Northern Ireland, which is a shame. It's your boy. I'm in front of the Belgium I don't acknowledge the EU globalist agenda. Belgium is just a country waiting to be given back to France and the Dutch. Belgium isn't a country. Minutes into the new Resident Evil, and even if I had no idea, I can instantly tell you it's a Netflix reboot. Is it crap funny or just crap? Just straight out crap. Yeah, I know that it's gonna be crap. I might like it anyway because, like, the Anderson first movies are crap, but I liked half of them. The way I see it, they'll like the live action stuff, the Anderson verse, the Netflix show, and to an extent, Welcome to Raccoon City. You have to not be a fan of the games. Like, my parents love the movies and my uncle. My parents don't play games, my uncle plays games, but he doesn't play the Resident Evil games. And yeah. But I love the games. But I also like the movies. Anyway. Critical Drinker is gonna have a field day. Yeah, that Lance Reddick is in it, so like he's a great actor, so you already know he's gonna be fantastic in it. Problem is, let me guess, the race changed white characters and non-whites again. Albert Wesker. Lance Reddick plays Albert Wesker. Well, hi, bud. I feel like he's just tweeting about the boys just so he can be like, hey, I watched The Boys. Sorry, DBM.
So
for
if the judge determined it was just merely offensive, you would have been found innocent, right? Now you use the phrase there, grossly offensive. So basically the prosecution was secured.
Yeah.
On solely this basis.
Subjectivity. Yeah.
So if the judge determined it was just merely offensive, you would have been found innocent, right? But
Yeah.
because it was deemed grossly offensive.
Yeah.
So how was that justified? What's the difference?
I have no idea why that's a law. It's absolute utter subjectivity. And like I said, like the older judge, it all comes down to what he finds grossly offensive, right? And an old man like that is going to find a lot of things offensive.
It's not the sort of thing you could just write a list.
Yeah.
These things are grossly offensive. These things are offensive.
Yeah,
that can't be done.
No one can agree on, like, you're not going to find something that everyone universally classes as grossly offensive. Everyone's going to have different takes and different varying degrees on what offends them, right? So you're not going to reach a consensus on it. And it's a case of whenever you go into court for, if you're being arrested under Section 127, you're not being convicted on, like, objective fact, right? Did you steal? Did you murder? Here's the evidence, blah, blah, blah. Like, those are, like, pretty objective cases. This is a roll of the dice. It's a case of, does the judge think you did think that what you did was wrong? Like, that's the problem that you're facing. But this is law, and there are people, hundreds of people every year that are getting convicted under this law.
It's like Marcus pointed out in another video. Actually, it was like the finale for the trial, because it only wrapped up like recently. Like, people find his video grossly offensive, which, be offended by what you want, but the fact that he was arrested and, the crime that he supposedly committed was causing gross offense, then really, by that logic, we could throw the entire government in jail because I find them grossly offensive, but nope. Rules for thee, but not for me. Mark was found guilty in court for a grossly offensive joke. On my Free Speech Nation podcast, he tells me the full story and why his appeal process has now reached a dead end. It was for total crap. It was like the fact that he went up to the highest bit that he can go, the European Court of Human Rights, and they said that they can't do anything about it because he waited too long. Because there's like a certain limit for how long you can go to them after you get your sentence. Like, you know, Marcus was found guilty in 2016 and he went to the ECHR. I don't remember when, but a couple of years later. The reason why he took a couple of years to do it is because there are some processes that need to go through first. You like give 2 appeals, and you go up to the High Court, Supreme Court, etc., then the ECHR. And they're not just like days between each other, they're months and years between each other. So it's just total crap.
And I will discriminate against.
Yeah, sure.
And I do feel that I despise them with every fibre of my being. They're the people that I genuinely, truly hate. And I will discriminate against.
Yeah, sure.
And I do feel that they should be deported. I despise them.
Finally got the PRQB news. Oh god, that's gonna be a fun time. Okay, it isn't. It was just that girl got this thing for her tattoos that make them look better, apparently. Pretty much my wife, Steve. Not the showering part. She has daily baths that last about 4 hours. What's your furthest right and left opinions? Fanboys are cool, but only the white ones. For the paint huffers, this is a joke. It's really sad. I need to preempt this crap. Political correctness can lead to cognitive exhaustion, according to new research. Turns out that self-censorship and walking on eggshells constantly due to the culture of fear that has been created is very bad for mental health. Who knew? Yeah, me. I did it for about, I would need to count how many months, but it was from September till June. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, look at the breakdown for year 4 of school. This explains the mental health issues of leftists. Few understand this. We got Libertarian Shrap, which is basically just a fanboy but under a different name. I'm gonna get called transphobic for that, I know. How do I get a heavily tattooed wife who would stick by me even after making illegal jokes? Have a really big pee-pee. We heard it live, fellas. Yes! Wagner music intensifies. Listen here, idiot. It's really great at showering for no reason. Well, here in Ungabungistan, where we literally build cities in the desert, it's 3 million billion degrees. Oh my god, shut up. I do not care. Here's the boost. Click open. No, problem is, you live in probably America, where it's always warm. And because that your bodies get used to the heat. Over here in Britain, it's cold, like freezing most of the time. So we're more used to the cold than we are the heat. Didn't your entire state shut down because of some slight frost? Our time has come. Summer pee-pee is real. Doctors agree that heat may make men's pee-pees appear larger. Do not trust the man with the cannon in his pants. These images are photoshopped. So you put your man's in his place. Like a good wife, she'll remain silent.